Hey, welcome back to Big Board. We're looking at last 100 yards, GMT, a snap purchase by me. $37. Who can go wrong? So let's try out that system and see what the fuss is about, or if there is indeed any fuss to be had. Uh, at the outset, I had a quick read of the rules, read the pertinent sections, and have thousands of questions about how things work. But let's belay all that and just get into it. And I thought the first thing we should do is let's capture our initial ideas about what we're going to do as both offense and defense here. So we have the erstwhile American chaps, there's some Bastogne type Battle of the Bulge thing. I think we're at, I don't know, I don't know, where are we? What's the name of the town? Yeah, Elson Ridge. So it didn't really say which leader to grab. I don't know which one to grab. So I grabbed the best one for these guys. At least I think it's the best one. And the plan for defense, we've got to keep the church and 5 buildings. And we have to set up anywhere behind these some blue. These are in alternate universes. These are blue. We're going to set up behind these white guys. So there's several buildings on the map, and I've taken these little tokens off because I now have a plan. There's ones here, here, here. There's one up there as well. So I'm giving up the first two as the American player and looking to not give up any of these nor the church. And happy to give up these here. Obviously, if the Germans made an end around, they could potentially try and get into this, but they have to get the church for the win. And or the casualty doohickey gets too high and they win anyway. So we've got to keep this core of 4 hexes and the church. So I've decided to kind of be forward facing here. Got a line of fire this way, line of fire this way, and same for these guys. We'll see how that works. We'll fall back as we go. Now here's the thing, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the church. So I can pretty much, let me just make sure that's correct. Yeah, objective. Mission ends when the German player has 5 wooden buildings and the church. So I can actually give up everything and keep the church. So my intention is make them work hard for these hexes and fall back on the church, hoping to hold it. Okay, so that's my plan for the American defense as it stands. The Germans have 2 platoons. So platoon leader here, Rolf, is going to make a bum rush up the side of the map and angle for the church. Got to get the church, right? But before we do that, I guess, whatever the correct term is for the German lieutenant equivalent, Lang is going to move up here and put down a bunch of suppressing fire and try and disrupt these guys, hold them in place, and potentially threaten this way so that we can, keep them sort of pegged here, and these guys can maybe sneak around this way in some way, shape, or form. So that's the game plan. We'll see how it all pans out, right? And off we go to the races. Interesting map art. I'm thought it looked good to start with. I don't have any further opinions on it. These counters will fall out in a random fashion from the sprues at the slightest touch. They are decent thickness. They've got the dark cardboard fill, and they are obviously all larger. They're all the kind of the 5/8 size and larger hexes. So it's all sort of reminiscent of the Panzer scale in terms of counter size and things like that. And it's all, quite clean and minimalist, I guess, would be the correct term I would use here for one of a term anyway. All right, so let's go get set up, and we'll soon see what goes on.